Okay, so I'm under the van changing the oil, right? I normally do it myself, but last time I went to a shop to do it, or one of those quick oil change places. Look at the size of the filter they put on here. That looks like something that goes on a Honda Civic or a lawnmower. Wow. Just for size reference, here's my hand. What the heck? So the reason I'm changing the oil myself this time is I use a very specific oil in this. I use the Rotella T4 1030. So this is a 5.4 V8, but it's the one with 2 valves per cylinder instead of 3. And the 530 rating is for the engine that has that variable valve timing cam phaser garbage. And this thing does not like the thinner oil on cold startup. So anyways, the oil coming out of there looks a little bit red too. Hey, well, it cost me about 80 bucks to get everything on my own, but whatever. At least I know I've got the proper oil in here and a decent sized filter. That's insane. Huh. So this is the green van. It would appear as though we have some coolant getting into places that it shouldn't be. These things have an issue with the intakes. I'm pretty sure it's not head gasket because the composite intakes on these 5.4s had pretty rampant problems, but I mean, it is cold outside, but we shouldn't be getting this much water vapor. Like a little bit just on startup is one thing, but when it just keeps coming and the inside of the tailpipe starts to get moisture buildup, that means, yeah, we have an issue. Well, that's somewhat obnoxious. Well, that's a problem for another day. And you can tell too by the way this lingers. That's coolant. It doesn't linger like this if it's just a little bit of condensation or if it's oil. Meh. All right, it is the next morning and I just used my last bag of pellets last night, so we are going to head over and grab some more. What is it that Ave says? Hello, tractor. Let's fire this thing up and see how much smoke it blows. So these 5.4 modular engines, they are, well, they always emit just a puff of oil smoke when they first start up. That's just how they've always been. But it's the coolant we were talking about. So let's see what we get here. Okay, so there's a little bit of oil smoke. That goes away. It clears up, and then here comes our coolant. We're gonna drive to the first stop. I'm making a few stops. And in theory, that should clear up by the time we get there. Actually, no, it is missing on one cylinder right now. I can hear it. Let me tear a piece of paper out of this real quick, and I'll show you a little trick I learned a long time ago to detect misfires on engines. You grab a receipt or a piece of paper or a leaf or something like that and hold it right next to your exhaust. And if it pulls in at any point, you've got a bit of a misfire. Yeah, so you can see there, it's kind of sucking back into the exhaust pipe just a little bit. It's not very much. It's like not even really a half a miss. But we do have a tiny bit going on there. But anyways, I had this problem previously, and it had to do with the O-rings on the composite intake. Anyhow, let's go for a drive and see if it clears up. Now, I mentioned yesterday that I knew it wasn't a head gasket. The way I know that, well, amongst other things, one, like I said, these intakes historically have issues on these engines. Two, I changed the oil, and the oil looked fine. And also, the coolant does not have any oil in it. So all those things combined, well, I don't remember if I mentioned, I was 1.5 gallons low on coolant. This system holds just shy of 4 gallons, but losing that much coolant, if there was a head gasket leak, you would definitely see evidence of it in the oil and or the coolant. So, yeah, look at that. You can see a little bit of condensation is normal when it's cold outside and you just fire up a vehicle. Why is it that I always have broken vehicles? Oh, by the way, update on the white van over there. Trying to point at it. There we go, that thing. I hopped in it yesterday and I wanted to try something. I fired it up and instantly put it into gear, and it would engage in reverse and drive. So that tells me when the oil or the transmission oil is thicker when it's cold, that all the pieces of the transmission are still there. I don't think we've had catastrophic failure on everything, which could also potentially be, I haven't had on Fords before, where the filter, which is also the intake tube, well, there's a filter that goes inside the transmission pan, but the intake tube's on the bottom of it. I got to thinking, I have had those fall off before. I can't remember on that particular transmission, it's an E40D, or is that one an A40D? I can't remember which one, but oh, some of them have a screw that holds it on. But I have had those fall off before, and that could cause the problems we were having and the noises, because it's sucking air. Anyways, random thoughts on a morning where I'm really tired as per usual. When am I not tired? There's a much shorter list of times that I'm not. Okay, I'm gonna get it strapped in here, and we're gonna make a couple of stops. The other thing I was noticing too, okay, well, we got the check engine light. That's from something else. I'll explain in a little bit. But I'd been having an issue where when this thing idles, no heat would come out of the vents. A while back, I was having an issue with a partial misfire when it started up. I think I put that in a video. But there was a TSB I found, a pretty obscure one, that said you have to run those little compressed walnut pellet things in the coolant systems on these to help kind of lubricate the O-rings and all the dissimilar metals. Because we've got a cast iron block, aluminum heads, wait. Well, I can't remember which. There's aluminum, cast iron, and composite. And those things help the O-rings kind of seal. But I thought maybe I put too many of those in, and when I was idling, it plugged up the heater core. But it turns out I was just super low on coolant. So that's the other thing we're gonna check here too. Probably on the second stop we make, I'm gonna pop the hood and see if our coolant level's changed. And then also, I'm gonna let it idle when we get there and see if the heat goes away or not. Diagnostic stuff. By the way, the video today is just me running around doing stuff. Sort of another day in the life sort of thing. Okay, we've been driving here for about 3 or 4 minutes, and I've noticed that the cloud of white water vapor seems to have cleared up behind us. So, parts have expanded, and the leak seems to have quit. For now. Okay, we've made it to our first stop where we're grabbing pellets, and I'm going to leave this thing idling and see if we still have heat by the time we come back out here in like 10 minutes after they've loaded me up. Okay, so the amount of time we've been in here, it looks like our coolant fog has come back. You can see a little bit of it coming out there. All right, we have heating pellets. Okay, let's see if we still have heat. Yeah, we still got a little bit coming out. Okay, so we do still have heat coming out of here. That's a good thing. It makes sense when you're 1.5 gallons low that the heating circuits aren't going to fill up correctly. By the way, this van has 104,000 miles on it now. I think when I got it, it was low 70, like 72,000 or something. Can't quite remember. Anyways, next stop, good freaking will. Figured might as well just do a run through here real quick and see what they got. Again, I don't need any more junk, but hey, something to look at. Let's take a look here real quick and see what our coolant level is. Yeah, it looks like it's about where it was yesterday. And also when the system's under pressure, that level drops quite a bit. But when it cools off, it should come up closer to that ring on the top. But anyways. The fact that there is still some coolant in there is good. as per usual, Goodwill got me again. I got a convection toaster oven and a coffee maker slash cappuccino machine, as well as a couple of other random things. Coffee maker's for the warehouse, toaster oven is for the bus. I do have a combo toaster oven microwave, but it doesn't really operate the same as a normal toaster oven. So I think what I'm gonna do is get another smaller microwave, because I use toaster oven functionality a lot more than anything else. So anyways, there you go. Now I'm gonna stop and grab lunch for me and a friend, and then who knows what, something I'm sure. I'll be back. Well, here we are in traffic. Yeah, so I changed the oil in the van the other day, and my arthritis is acting up again. All my joints are swollen and stuff. I keep forgetting that's a thing I need to be careful with. And I know I keep saying over and over again, I need to take it easy, but that just doesn't seem to happen ever. Anyways, got some lunch now, gonna head back. And I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm working on today. Oh, I was gonna uninstall the hand controls from the white van. I think I can do that without exerting too much energy. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, we have installed the blackout film. It was this stuff from Amazon. It's sort of a static cling. You use a bottle of water and put it up there. I don't really care about the edges too much because the window's already tinted and you're not gonna see light around it anyways. And also there's a seam in the middle. I will probably tape off that center seam just to make sure it stays on there. But right now, with the sun coming through, I'm letting all the water dry and evaporate that's behind it. And then we'll be good to put our framing on and get the plywood over it. Yeah, I think it worked pretty well. Ta-da! We have the wall window covering thing finished. That thing's super solid. I can mount whatever I need to on it, and it's not going anywhere. I think what I've decided, though, is with that back window covered, I was thinking I was going to cover up this one as well. We do still have a whole bunch of windows back here, but I think I'm going to leave this one open. I think if that one was covered and this one was covered, it would be kind of dark and weird back here. Also, because this window on this side behind the shower is going to be covered and there's going to be another wall here, I think it would just be a little bit dark and weird back here. I mean, obviously you can install lights, but I think just having the curtains coming to right here is going to be good. I trimmed down this curtain track just a little bit here, so now the curtains stop right there. And again, with the way I build things, I kind of plan as I go. Now that I have this in here, I can see the next stage is going to be replacing this shelf right here. So the fridge has been sitting on top of this for quite some time. And what I'm going to do is remove this. This is actually a repurposed IKEA table. Since it's got the steel square tube underneath it, it was fairly strong and able to hold the fridge up. But we've got this one support right here that I would like to get rid of. So now that this is in, what we're going to do is grab a couple of boards and run them from this wall all the way over here. And that's going to provide a nice solid mounting surface for the kitchen area. Now, I'm filming this after I filmed the rest of the video, and I grabbed some stuff at Goodwill, and I've kind of got an idea here what we're going to do. Fridge is going to stay right there. I'll probably reverse the doors, but then we're going to put some other things in here. And it will be nice to get rid of this upright support. We've got these hatches down here to access the engine. There's one here, and there's another one on the other side there. So this area down here is just going to be relegated to storage. I might have some bins or crates or something. Whatever goes down here won't be permanent. That way I can just pull it out, you know, inevitably when I need to open these covers and get to the engine. And obviously you have another access hatch down here to get to the engine bay. But yeah, I think this is going to work out pretty well. Now here we have the big white storage unit. These are the things we got today, amongst other things. The Breville or whatever toaster oven, convection oven thing. There's $20. It's actually pretty clean other than right here. It uses the quartz heating elements, and it's got a bunch of modes, and it says pizza on it. Crumb tray. So it seems to work good. That'll be good for the bus. This thing. So I just looked on Amazon. This is $280. You can buy it right now. Coffee maker slash cappuccino machine. Oh, I left all the parts inside. Anyways, it came with the little handle that goes in here, and a tamper, and a measuring scoop, and a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, and then your cappuccino stuff goes in here. Actually, I'm going to leave that out of here so it dries. I don't know, whatever. I did pretty good at Goodwill today. Little update on this van. I just uninstalled the hand controls today. I can get it to move. If you fire it up cold and jam it in gear, you can drive it however far you can get before the transmission warms up. Not like on the road or anything, but I think I'm just gonna let this van go. I'm gonna take the lift computer out of it because my friend here needs a backup one for his rig. I'll probably take the power door units out, and yeah, I don't know. 280,000 miles, even if I fix the transmission, we still have a questionable lift. And this is the only van I've ever been stuck inside of, and it's happened many times. So anyways, I don't know. The thing definitely looks nice, so it has that going for it, but yeah, I think it's time to let it go. I feel like I'm gaining momentum again with working on this project. There was I don't know, a month or two there where I was really tired all the time. But anyways, it's nice to get some things done. I'm just working on the little things here and there that I said I was going to come back and do later. But anyhow, I think I'm going to fire up the pellet stove. I need to burn up these pellets that are in here. Turns out I had one more bag of those Blazer ones that are about 1,000 BTU per pound less than the rest of them. But we got those good ones today, the Green Supreme by Lenetics or whoever makes them. Sun's about to go down. I usually like to fire up the stove just before sunset so we don't lose any of the latent heat in here. It's supposed to be fairly cold again tonight. Oh, yeah, there's the... Ew. How do you... You're gonna... I don't know what that means, but here's the hand controls that were in the white van. Gonna be repurposing some of those linkages for up here. But yeah, I think now that I've taken those out of the white van, and I mean, I can't drive it anyways because the transmission's broken, but now I really can't drive it because there's no hand controls in it, will push me to finally sell that thing. I've been talking about it for over a year now, and the van's actually broken. So I should probably get rid of that thing. Or whatever. Okay, it's the next morning. Let's take a look at this thing again. I noticed here that everything is wet down here. You can see where it's dry back there, but this is directly under the coolant reservoir, which means we have been getting overpressurization and it has been leaking. You can see all this here. And also we have the telltale sign of coolant right here. Now our level has dropped since yesterday. It's all the way down here now. So I think whatever our leak is getting significantly worse, quite a bit faster. I didn't really do that much driving yesterday, and it seems as though, yeah, this, oh, there's still pressure in there, weird. Yes, our level went up a little bit. It is staying pressurized though, that's really interesting. Let's fire it up real quick and see if anything funky happens. Yeah, coolant level didn't change or anything. Huh. We did get our usual puff of oil smoke. Yep, still have the slight misfire, and we're still getting coolant being burned. Well, I guess the problem's getting bad enough now. I should probably do something about it. So in the past, I went through all the training to become a Ford auto technician or whatever, and worked in a Ford dealership for a while. I've replaced dozens of intakes on the 5.4s and the 4.6 engines. But at this point, I think it's a little bit outside of my ability level. Trying to crawl up in there and do a bunch of stuff pretty much requires standing up. And yeah, well, I think I'm gonna have to find a shop. There used to be a couple of good ones that I knew of that I trusted the people and they knew what they were talking about, but they've all retired. And yeah, so I'm not quite sure what to do at this point. We've kind of reached a situation now to where I probably shouldn't drive that thing a whole bunch, because as quick as we're losing coolant and how it's overpressurizing, more things are going to become damaged. Anyone want to buy a couple of vans?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say or do at this point. I think I'll just kick that can down the road for another few days and try to figure something out.
By the way, I got the next section of conduit installed here. Got that running down here to the back. I just left a decent amount of the wire sticking out. Pretty sure it's going to run up here and then maybe into whatever counter I wind up putting in, but nice having that at least done.
I've got a list of a whole bunch of stuff, just little odds and ends that need to be tied up and done. I'm just kind of working on that stuff now. Little things here and there. I think what I'm going to wind up doing, previously I was kind of explaining what I was going to do before I do stuff. I think I'm going to pivot a little bit and just go ahead and start building things and not talk about it until I'm actually doing it or show it once it's done, because I think that translates into a lot of rambling and then I wind up changing my mind later on. But anyways, interesting side note, I have been thinking for the last few years, I was thinking it would be really cool to get like a UPS or a FedEx truck. Not one of the huge ones, but kind of a mid-size one. Sort of like the postal step vans you see driving around. They're not big, they're not small, they fit in a normal parking space. They're maybe 22 feet long, something like that. I've been thinking about just selling both the vans and getting one of those. It'd be really easy to stick a lift in the back of one of those things and put can controls in it. The driver console is so tall on those things that it's really easy to just park your chair in front of the steering wheel, put a lockdown in, and you can drive it. So, I don't know. I'm probably getting ahead of myself. I don't think there's... I never know. So this green van has been like the only like reliable one I've had in the last, well, I don't know, probably since I started the YouTube channel. I'm just gonna have to get an estimate done and see what potentially it's gonna cost. I do need a van that drives. That's fairly important for the whole grand scheme of things. But anyways, if anyone has a diesel-fired step van, not a huge one, but kind of a mid-sized one, and you want to donate it to the cause, let me know. Okay, I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to repot a few of these plants. Just some nice mindless work. See, it's a little bit too tall. It doesn't fit in here. Every so often, you got to just do random stuff that you don't want to do that's been... I'm rambling. I'll see you guys in the next video.